live in all languages of the world. Live. Okay. Let's just see before we officially begin. We'll see if we can be heard and seen, and then we will be officially live. So many interesting things to talk about today. Okay, just looking for the comments box. If you are live with us, as soon as you come in, please say hello. If you're not live, please say hello as well. So this way, when I look at the messages, I'll know you're there. Hello, Marco. Welcome. Can see you and hear you. Thank you. And Phil, audio and video are excellent. Thank you. And we are ready to begin then in this case. Mademoiselle?
Here we go! The French connection!
I'm just checking to make sure that you are, since I don't understand every word, I'm making sure that you're talking about the deepest levels of meditation.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes. Right.
Talk about patience and horses.
Yes.
Who?
What? Patience.
Patience?
Yes.
Patience
Yeah.
and
virtue of
horses.
patience
Yes.
And horses and Mustang.
Patience, yes. Horses, sure.
For humans.
Chickens, better. Chickens, much better. Okay, we are here. Welcome everybody at home. Welcome everyone here. We are almost on time, which is pretty good. And what can we do? Okay. So today, I'm very excited for our latest Monday classes because I'm kind of dancing in how advanced I want to take it and how much I want to use the Monday class for an opportunity to reboot our momentum, our energy, and to maybe talk more about the technique of meditation itself, and to keep a lot of the bigger philosophies of life, maybe to some special occasion, and to make our Mondays truly energy mastery, where we combine the the technique and the meditation itself. And when both overlap, this is what I'm more excited. So when I can see how much I could bring both in words of the, how philosophy, technique, and energy come together. And that ultimately makes me excited. Sometimes it's not easy to deliver. And not only that, is not only about delivering, it's also about the people that are here. So ultimately, my presentation here is for you, not for me. So as I bring the topic of the day, as I prepare for the topic of the day, I also want to make sure that you are also ready for it. And ultimately, it's exactly what was happening in your life that we bring into this room, into our online experience, kind of bring it all together. So probably the most basic question I want to answer today, and see how we can do that. Philosophy of life, the practical mindsets and elements of the meditation, and the energy itself. How do we bring it together? The ultimate question for me, and I always ask that question: why meditate? Why meditate? Because we have books and we have videos, and we could just listen in to somebody who already arrived there, right? We can listen to their words. We can, just like everything else we learn, we could just learn it and use our time wisely in our everyday life, tackling with now gained knowledge, tackle our life, tackle our everyday experiences. Why do we need to meditate on top of that? And a lot of people, maybe don't openly question that, but maybe deep they question that. And Eric says, okay, practice. Why? What for?
Yeah.
I mean, it does make you feel good. Sometimes you're stuck. And then when you meditate, you feel a little bit better. Okay, that makes sense. But if I'm feeling fine, or if I don't have time, my time can be used better maybe than the meditation. I'll make it. I'll be okay. I've done it before. So meditation becomes kind of something that you may do when you have time, when you feel better, when. But then Eric says, no, hold on. Make it into a ritual. Plan your life around meditation. Okay, that sounds a little, spooky. All right?
So, meditation helps it helps quiet my mind.
Right. Okay.
And it helps bring me to a certain, it's not a void, but it's like an alignment more, and it's a space, it's alignment with myself.
Okay, so it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it does
Okay.
feel good. For me,
Excellent.
I believe that you don't see the results right away,
Okay.
but every and I love the analogy that you did about the water drops.
Right, drop by drop, right.
Drop by drops.
Right.
Where one doesn't make a difference or the other way.
Right.
But it's all the accumulative, and it's between the time and the growth that you get
Mhm.
between that little space. And
Right.
I see that, and when I don't do it, I feel that I'm missing it.
Okay.
So for me,
Okay.
it's growth.
Yeah. What if
Even
meditation?
with myself.
What if meditation doesn't bring you joy a certain day? Would you say that was not a good meditation?
No.
Okay.
Still
Okay.
very
So
good.
right, but it didn't give you what you were after. It didn't clear your mind. Then
No,
what?
But it's still a space that I give to myself.
Right.
To connect with myself and connect
Right.
with the universe.
Right.
And because I may be in a funky day or vibration or
Right, right.
bad day,
Right.
and even the meditation can maybe it can take me a little bit to like, okay, I don't have time, but I'm like, okay, I'm doing it, and so I feel maybe sometimes a bit pressured by
Right.
it, but the value is there.
Okay. Okay.
And it's and for me the challenge is like really bringing it as a discipline.
As a ritual, as opposed to a choice.
Exactly.
We mean.
As a
Okay.
ritual, and
Good.
I still working towards that.
Good. Good.
But I
Good. Thank
do
you.
feel the value of it.
Right. Okay. Catherine, maybe.
Yeah.
Why do we even meditate? What for?
Because I think it's the only thing that really takes us out of our mind.
Takes us out of our mind.
Yeah.
I said that once, and Michelle said, "Eric, you got to be careful what you say. I don't think anybody wants to be out of their mind."
I want to be out of my
Me
mind.
too.
I'm tired of being in my
What
mind.
kind of mind?
The-
Let's be clear.
Yeah, the mind that is very, that very repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
You vicious circles.
Mm-hmm.
The ideas that comes into a loop all
Right.
the time.
Right. Right.
And like you're on the automatic pilot.
Right.
Instead of really enjoying the time that you have, you're not enjoying it because your mind is on automatic pilot.
Right. Right. So
Yeah.
where Vivian said that it gives her an opportunity to be with herself, to create a certain level of unity that she understands
Yeah.
drop by drop will give her something that she's seeking but not sure that she could truly define it, but something much better than where we are today. And Catherine is saying that it helps her to uh, clear her mind from the repetitive thoughts that seemingly don't allow her to be fully aware of how things really are. Yes?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because the brain, I'm on a highway there.
Mhm.
They know the highway. And it's repetitive. It's stuck there.
All right.
I said, come on, how many years do I need to be stuck on this highway? I
Right.
don't want to be stuck on this
I want to
highway.
be stuck on a different highway.
Where? I want to create new synapses in my
Right.
brain.
It's kind of like a break.
Yeah, but a break,
And be more present.
I don't know, because it's tough. It's
Right.
really,
Oh,
to create that space, it's not fun. It's not fun, it's
so we're looking for fun,
no, but at least a little bit of ease.
a little bit of ease, not fun but ease. Okay,
Ease, that would be great.
I'm going to be challenging a little bit. Yeah,
No,
not
because
much.
otherwise I rebel.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. At home, I'm giving you some time to share with us your reason. Why do you think we even meditate? Why not just use this lecture, the words I say, things you already read and understand. A lot of you bring a lot of things that you've read elsewhere to here. So when I ask a question, it's not necessarily what we've done here. Some of it we brought from other places. And that was the reason why we do our meditation. Vicky says, hi, Eric. Okay. Twice. Okay. Jennifer says, hi, Eric. Sound is good and video good. Thank you. Michelle, hello, Michelle. All good. Okay. Candace is saying hello to everyone. Okay, so guys at home, please answer the question in the simplest way possible. Why do you think we even meditate? Why do I say, please find a way to make it into a ritual, plan your life around it. The best way to do it is every single day, maybe at the same time. This way you will not have to worry about, did I meditate today? Did I not meditate today? If it's the same time, then that's the time you do it. Everybody else will know that that's your time, and nobody will question it after a while. In the beginning, they'll say, come on. And then they will know to plan whatever it is around the time that you do it, be it first thing in the morning to empower your day, be it somewhere in the middle of the day, because that's the time that you get to be on your own, or be it before you go to sleep. So this way, you either wake up a little bit earlier or you retreat from all activities a little earlier before you go to bed. And this way, that at the same time, you set for yourself. This way, you're never going to skip it for no reason. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter what the weather is like. Doesn't matter, what time of the day it is. It doesn't matter, because you have already something very sure. This is what I recommend. The question is, again, why should we do it? Okay, Eric recommends. Maybe he knows. Maybe it's good for him. For me, so we have to, our mind still needs a good reason. So we're trying to figure out what is your mind telling you, and then I will try and maybe add to it a little bit, because I don't think anything you could say is wrong, because that's what your mind is telling you. This is how you feel. So it's not wrong, but maybe there's something I could add. I have the feeling that I could. To maybe even raise the value of our meditation to a higher level. Yeah? Andrew, maybe you could Why do you think we need to meditate? Why do you feel that?
Reach that state of inner freedom.
Inner freedom.
Inner freedom also unleash your true potential. And we taught here with awareness, which the gap between being and knowing.
Right.
The inner transformation. During meditation, this is the space when we completely allow this freedom to happen. And the principles during meditation is opposite to the principles that we are during our regular time. To achieve the unity with us and with everything around us. I don't know, it's a high level of a high quality of energy during this process.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
slowly, increase your the energy or to bridge the gap between yourself and your blueprint.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
just little words.
Right. No, I know. Coming from the outside world and realigning.
Now it's in programming skills.
Okay. Yeah. At home, can you hear him well, or should I be repeating? Please let me know. I'm gonna try even to write it on the board in a few minutes. I'm just gonna read a few from here, and then I want to write on the board all those things we've said, because I think they will be valuable to see. And Vivian is writing them down. Maybe she'll help us after to write them on the board. So Marco is saying the only way to transform yourself, it must be done at the level of the senses, which can only be accomplished in a meditative state. See, Marco has an advantage. He has time to write it down, but very interesting. Also, bridging the gap between knowledge and embodiment, which is essential. If you don't do it yourself, it's just learning fascinating stories. So if you don't bridge that gap at the level of senses, Marco says, then it's just fascinating stories, but there's no essence. I'm just adding a little bit, paraphrasing his words. Perfect, interesting. Jennifer says, to raise our energy and improve our life experience. And she says it with a question mark. Okay. Marco adds, without transformation, we would feel stuck, and that is something more missing. I'm not sure I fully understand. The meditation allows us, Phil is saying, meditation allows me to go to a different place without any distractions and make a connection to my body and mind. I feel more centered and collected to handle the day and daily duties. Interesting. Okay. Yes.
The ability to step into the basically, no matter what brings you, in a way you open for the
Yes.
unknown. You not restrict, you allow you to come in
Right.
your life. You
Right.
open to this.
Right. Interesting. Go into the unknown. Perfect. Guys, please let me know at home if I should repeat the words, or you can actually hear them. Just say we can hear them, or please repeat them. And I will try and repeat it, because I'm not sure how the setting of the microphone is. Okay, let me try and write some of those things down. Which marker is worth today? So it seems to trust to work for you. Both seem to be working. Try this one first. Just see if we've seen. Okay. So the question was, why meditate? So first was to reach state of unity. Yes. What else did you say? Remember?
It's a mostly it's a space that I allow.
Okay, a space for yourself.
Yes.
Right.
You know, for unity.
Space for self with self. Yeah.
Yes, for self with self. Unity of self with the universe.
Connecting, right?
Yes.
To universe. Catherine said, I'm sick of the highway I'm in. I
Yeah,
want a different highway
in my mind.
in the mind. Okay. No, she said that repetitive thoughts
Yeah.
to clear repetitiveness, repetitive thoughts, which limiting, right?
Yeah.
And break the pattern thinking. Pattern. Sometimes others hear what you say better than you hear your own. And break the pattern of limitation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, it is, that prevents me to see what's really happening.
Okay.
You know?
Break the pattern
Yeah.
that prevents seeing what is. Okay. I'm going to write Andres on the new page because he's got a lot going here. So I'm going to write, Jennifer said to raise energy and improve life experience. Or raise, that's still right. Raise energy, improve life experience. All right. Marco said, transforming yourself, yes, at the level of senses. Level of senses. And he and both Andres said, bridge the gap between being and knowing. Okay, sorry for the lack of clarity on the bottom there. Evelina says, hello, Eric, and our beautiful group. Hello, Evelina. Phil says, meditation allows a place without distraction. and make connection to my body and mind, feel more centered to handle the duties of the day. So Phil says, opportunity to connect body and mind. More centered. To accomplish daily duties. Accomplish, maybe that's not what we said, but likely that's what. Shirley is saying, knowledge didn't give me the inner freedom I was seeking. Meditation gives me something new within, a sense of something intangible that builds on an inner freedom, expressing in feeling more alive, more aware, more sensitive to self, to others. One day I may notice new strength, more compassion, more loving, feeling like coming together, as I said, feeling more alive, more present, giving purpose, value to all aspects of my life. Forgive me if I don't write it all on the board. But that's well said. Yeah. Okay. Andrew, yours was, what did we miss?
Ability to step into the unknown.
Ability to step into the
More openness to, more flexibility to the unknown.
to be flexible in mind and body, right? And that's pretty much what Shirley said as well. She just expanded on that, but I think that's pretty much what she said as well. And she said that information alone, knowledge alone, without the experience, doesn't seem to give her that quality experience. And Shirley says, although many highs and lows, the forward momentum is so worth it. To exclamation. Okay. I mean, it's all right. It's all correct. Here's a challenge with this. The challenge is that we have, let me just refresh our mind a second. We want to achieve unity, we want to achieve space for self, with self-connection and the universe, clear the repetitive thoughts, limitations, breaking the pattern that prevents seeing what is real, the gap between the energy level and the present state, the higher potential and now, raise energy to improve life experiences, transform level of senses, bridge gap between being and knowing, opportunity to connect with body and mind, more centered to accomplish daily duties, and the ability to step into the unknown and to be flexible mind and body. They're all wow, okay? Here's the challenge. The challenge is that we cannot start our meditation with that goal.
Rather, we cannot.
Challenge is that we understand what it gives us, we understand what it can accomplish. Nobody said it frees me from anxiety. Nobody said that it maybe because it's not so simple. But ultimately, we have in our meditation, we have before, during, and after meditation. Okay, so before, during, and after meditation. At advanced level, we understand that. And ultimately, everything that we wrote this far can we set it in the before unit, into the before meditation? Can we put all this list and say, okay, this is what I want to achieve, and then go into the meditation? No, it's a challenge. Hold on a second. Here's the challenge. The challenge is that everything we said, we cannot include. So what are we doing? Are we lying to ourselves? So how do we do it? Do you understand? So before we set to meditate, right? Before we set to meditate, we have this opportunity, okay, to explore because we talk about, this is a little bit more advanced, we talk about there's thought, there's action, right? Meditation being action, thought being what initiates the action, right? We all know there's thought and then there's action. We hope that there's thought before action, otherwise it's very reactive and very unhealthy, right? But in between thought and action, right, there's inner dialogue. Always. Inner dialogue is that which happens right in between thought and action. Correct? We can't avoid it. It's natural. And more so, it's actually useful and necessary. But here's the challenge. The challenge is that we cannot put all those things that we mentioned in a dialogue before we do our meditation. Why? We cannot. If we have this presentation today and we take notes. I took notes on the board. We write them down. What do we do with them now? What do you do with those notes? Okay, you learned it. Now you know. I want this. Others now. I understand that others have this. It sounds good. Maybe I should add it to my list of what I want to achieve. That sounded good. That sounded good. That sounded good. Now what do I do with this list? Huh? Now what do I do with that list?
Just let it go.
You just
You let it do sometimes.
during
sometimes you do it again.
meditation, you forget about it.
You forget about it. Okay.
You forget about it. It's just completely. So you basically don't start from thoughts.
Yeah.
Your meditation will start from energy.
Right.
Whatever
Right.
it brings, you don't know.
Right. Right. Catherine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You let go because
You let go of that list because
otherwise you get stuck in the thoughts again, and you don't allow the energy to come forth from
Right.
you. So
Redefine the energy, emotions, and the thoughts. So basically, your thoughts will stop. You're not allowing to them to be redefined. Flow to redefine. If you start with thoughts, you still stop.
that's
if you predetermine your outcome,
You restrict.
And the whole point of meditation is to expand.
The worse than you imagine.
I think the tricky part sometimes, think that you are meditating, but in fact you're not. You're just stuck.
You think you're meditating, but in fact you're not. Well, some may call it meditation. You think you're meditating, but in fact you're not.
Let's elaborate about that part.
That's why we're here. Yeah. That was in my introduction today of how can we make this process better. You know, I drew this little guy here, right? And now I'm about to add a face. How does the face of this guy before meditation? How is the face? Smiley or not?
It depends on the days of the time.
Some days are better.
It depends.
Yeah.
Usually a bit enough.
Usually beaten up.
Beaten up.
You know, the
Nobody
all
knows.
the things that you do during the day or worn off or whatever.
It depends. You can have a smile and then during your and then afterward you have a bigger smile.
So we just won't add anything. Okay.
It could be anything.
Could be anything. Okay. You know why I asked that question? It was a trick question. Because you described to me that it depends. You know why it depends? Because it's not a meditation. In our everyday life, our smile depends on what? On them.
Not always.
Not always. On who? On you?
Things can happen, can be shitty, but I decide to let them affect me or not. Or like sometimes it's like in your face, but I'm like, this is not helping me. Why would I allow it? So I try to brush it up very quickly and I keep my smile. Because
Right, but it still depends on them. This whole dialogue was because of them. And you had to fight that to win.
I guess so, yes.
Okay, so they still are important. Because of them, you have to have the dialogue. Because of them, you have to decide, you know, whether I should let them affect me or shouldn't.
Well, I tried, I did see what
You tried.
but I'm always smiling naturally.
Right. Very few people are so lucky to have a smile naturally on their face like you do. You know, but yeah, that's why they're so, you know, attracted to you because you seem to have a smile on your face. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this, and that in our everyday life, right, our smile or that inner dialogue is dependent on them. How strong am I today to overcome their challenges that they presented to me, their negativity, to smile or not to smile? The beauty about meditation is that the whole purpose of meditation is to be independent of the outside. Be free. And that freedom we acquire with every step of our meditation process. Before the meditation, when we don't set goals, right? That means there is nothing to be dependent, right? No goal, just the experience. So if the experience is difficult during the meditation, is that okay? Right. If the experience is easy, is that okay? Yes. If the posture is difficult to get into and sense, is that okay? If it's easy to come into, is that okay? Yes. And that can only happen if before you agreed that it's not about the posture. A lot of meditations may guide you and say, you gotta clear your mind. Now, if the mind is not clear, that means something's wrong. Right? If you can't sit still and keep a posture, there's something wrong. If you can't put your right. So this is a little bit different, right? So by setting certain goals for our meditation in advance, we would put ourselves in exactly the same place as we have in our everyday life, where a smile is a byproduct of a good inner conversation with ourselves, right? At best. Here, we're no longer dependent on free of outcomes, yeah? You've also heard that in other maybe forms of meditation where they say that you have to what is a goal? A goal is a desire, right?
Because a goal.
A goal. A goal is a desire, right?
Desire to.
Desire.
Desire to transform.
Desire. Any desire. Which means that being free of goal to some degree is also being free of desire, and it's tricky. How can you do it?
Allowing things to happen.
Right.
Space.
As I am, as it is right now, right? But here's the conflict. What about that list? What about that list that we just did? Why would a meditation that doesn't have a goal and doesn't have a desire help us reach a whole list of things that we have listed? How can it reach unity? How can it reach clarity? How can it raise our energy? How is it possible that something that you don't desire can bring you to something you do?
Yes, it's bigger than us. It's bigger than us.
Bigger than us. Yes, but I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yes, the only way At home, maybe?
You allow the desire of the body to express.
Okay. Through meditation, you allow the desire of the body to express. Okay.
That's a shift from desire yourself. Doesn't exist because if we don't set goals, it does exist. It exists at the level of the body.
Is it more the desire of the goals? I see it as not a reference as it must be like this, but as here's what are possibilities, what you can expect, and just allow yourself to be in your goal, to receive, to be allowed, and as it is and as it is right now, and whatever comes, comes. That's how I see it. But it's a reference in a way for me to see.
So it's a goal, but not a goal. Nice, interesting way.
Flexible
Interesting way to get out of it.
flexible goal. It's just like, okay, here's what are possible to see. Because I guess it's in my mind, I like to define things.
Right. So now you're sort of defining it, but not defining it. Soon you're not going to define it at all. That's good. That's fine. But you're on your way, in the right direction.
What I was still talking about before, right?
We're still talking about before.
All right, so
There's faith.
Hmm?
There's faith. You have, you have faith that something is guiding you, and something in you is helping you, that is bigger than who you are. Because if you don't have that faith, that hope, so why doing it?
Okay. Good. Oh, it's all good, right? It's all good. You're about to say something, and I said before. Let's see what you were going to say to me. Andrew, what were you going to say?
regarding the desire
Yes.
level of the body,
Yes.
it happens during the meditation,
Yes.
allowing the desire that we sense, in a way you can translate as a desire of expression through the body, sensing and allowing it to express.
Oh, it's all good. This is all
Because I think what like, in our daily lives, we command our
Yes.
bodies to
Here
do
is the other
things.
way around.
Yeah.
You allow the
Yeah.
desire of the body to.
Yeah.
Basically, it's your guide.
Is there anything wrong with desire? Nothing wrong with it?
My question is there anything wrong with being have desires?
Well,
No.
because you may be restricted, you may not. You may be desiring, and maybe after the transformation, during the transformation, if you truly allow the freedom, at some point, what you've been desiring a while ago, you may be not desiring anymore because your vision, your perception about it changed.
Yeah.
You reevaluate and said, this doesn't make sense. This
Maybe
is
you desire.
But this way, if you make them, you still restrict the new to come.
You need to guide us here. My question, is that anything wrong having desires? Which is not like intense, like, oh, I need to have this, but
But this
a
is not
general
about during
expect.
during the regular life. And this is about meditation. Which is
yeah.
completely
Oh, no,
two different
you're right.
mindsets.
Meditation, I just like.
Nobody says you don't have to have desires. You do.
Yeah, that's true. During meditation, I just let myself relax.
Two different.
And if we have desire, then we're gonna have thoughts. And then we're gonna get stuck again.
What's a general feeling?
Desire, thoughts, stuff.
Not necessarily. I don't see it that way. Tell us.
Recently, I tried to explain this in a simplified manner. Shirley's tried to answer. With humility and openness to the unknown, magic happens. So if we have clear desires, we didn't leave room for what? Magic, Shirley says. We want to control every outcome and every step of it through our desires, because our desires are so clear. I'm not saying yes or no right now. I'm just
It's pretty fun.
and Shirley's ready to receive magic.
Did you repeat what she said with humility and
With humility and openness to the unknown, ... magic happens.
Like alchemy.
Okay. It's time for us to meditate. Oh. Okay, all right. Sorry. Okay.
So after meditation,
What did you think? I was
she said, no, like, what am I going to do now?
She was taking by surprise.
Yeah.
I want the answer.
She wants the answer now.
Yes.
you have to meditate on your answer? That's
Yes.
a desire there.
Okay. So I'm gonna try. And the reason I kind of thought maybe meditate, it will maybe give me words, but since since there is desire.
Okay, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. There is no pressure, no pressure.
Let me try. If I can't, then we'll meditate.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then it will come.
Yeah.
Because I want to put it in as little words as possible and make it as clear as possible. And that's tough. Meditation is a technique. How do you spell it? C-H?
CHNI.
Like that?
Yes. Do you?
Yeah. Meditation is a technique. Alright? And basically what you put behind your intention is what this technique is gonna give you. Right? So there are different kinds of meditation likely out there. And whatever the intention, which is the before, right? That's what likely the meditation will give you. Very often, we measure our outcome or our experience of meditation by sensations, right? So sensation. Is that right? Like A. A. Sensation is how we measure usually, yeah? Our meditation. To challenge, like happiness. Too early. I'll give an example. Example was Andre. Maybe I can use your example. Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Andre came to a meditation. We had a private session together, and after the meditation, we had a reflection, and Andre had a big smile on his face after the meditation because he felt. I noticed it, and then I shared it with him. Right? He felt that he had no limits. He felt expanded, and everything around was his big expansion. That was a sensation, right? And that sensation made you feel how?
Light, no limitations. It's
Light, no limitation,
of life,
connected, united,
centered.
connected, centered, united, happy. Right?
Yes.
All of the sensations that we would consider to have positive influence onto our everyday, onto our health, onto our mindset, onto our relationship, onto our goals, and with this, not in mind, with this experience of self, you are more productive, you're more creative, you're more accepting, you're more empathetic, you're more determined, you're determined in a good way, not in a reactive way. You're more open, you're more approachable. People will sense it from you. You don't have to force anything. This is the whole package almost.
Itself.
Yeah, you feel yourself, right? Because you don't have a fight. Because you're not fighting anything. There's no need to fight. There's no enemy to fight. And it's not something that we measured. This wasn't the intention of our meditation. Okay, it wasn't something we said before and said, okay, I want to reach this level. Right? It happened as a byproduct, as an outcome. So there was an experience, that Andre says after our meditation that was ultimately that expansion, right? Think right that word, right? Expansion. Two S's? Yes or what? One S? Expansion.
What is, yeah.
Expansion. Okay, and all of those things were part of that experience of expansion. Okay, so here is the challenge. Here's the challenge. Andre may have, at that point, right, recognizing this beautiful experience, an empowering experience after the meditation. Next time he went into a meditation, he may, without realizing, be tempted to replicate this experience, to receive it again. Come on, he needs it right now. Challenge at home, challenge at work, challenge with self. How can you resist when you go into a meditative state not to desire this expansion experience? How can you resist? So he would, let's say he did, and then guess what? Because he already experienced this expansion at the level of senses, because that's where he experienced it to begin with, because he experienced it, and because he now intended it, right? Tension we miss? T, yeah? Tension. English is a fine language. Okay, so Edison, he took it with intention and he experienced it. And then he went into his meditation. He went, yes, I'm there again. And I'm right now raising the energy, and everyone, if you can sense it, you'll be able to actually experience the expansion that Andrew experienced. Just notice. There. Wow. I know he's experiencing it because he already has it at the level of senses. Some of you at home maybe or here may experience it as well. There's that sense of expansion. So look how easy it is. Once you experienced it, you can replicate it again and again and again. Solved it, yes? The answer is no. Why no? No is because this expansion that Andrei experienced was part of the new. And if he calls it, if his intention is to receive it, it will be part of the old. And the difference between new and old is this. New is transformative. And old is pleasing. Is there anything wrong with pleasing? With pleasure? Of course not. But it's not a transformation.
So if I understand well, by going for a second time or whatever other times
Right.
he does meditation, and he's expecting, he says, okay, I felt the expansion,
Right.
feel this again, and so
Yes.
it's redoing again that same thing.
You invite it, yes.
The old.
The old. And you could do it for the next 40 years. Use meditation for pleasure and not receive transformation. Which means that you would literally have half an hour or an hour of very intense, pleasurable moment, but it will not, I highlight, never add to a new outlook on life, to a new level of joy in your day. It will not transform itself into your everyday. Here is why. This is the reason and the key of today. Let me try and express it. So far, yes? So far is good? Because even though we reach growth, unity, and transformation through the experience of senses, the outcome, that the result sensation is not what takes us there. What took us there is the exact opposite. The reason Andre was able to receive, in this case, I can't guarantee that because you received a sense of expansion, that's what you experienced. I wasn't there. But I was there with him. And in his case, he reached the level of expansion at the level of the senses through a few hours of intense moment by moment, drop by drop, obstacles that he overcame. The obstacles, the ultimate obstacles were that he reached, right? He reached the sense of expansion. Was reached through moment by moment, overcoming, or I will say rising above, the desire for the familiar, comfort, etc. All the mindsets. That we use during meditation. Beginning with not desiring expansion. It is the not desiring of expansion. It is the not desiring of a specific sensation. It is the not desiring of any outcome that gave him the initial predisposition, the before started the meditation. That was against everything he desired. He went against his own desire. Because we've decided that it's okay. In meditation, it's okay. It's safe to go against your own desire. By going against desire, he took himself into the experience of the body. He maybe wanted to sit down, relax, but the body wanted to move. He maybe wanted smooth transitions that made him feel pretty. His body went into very difficult and uncomfortable postures. He maybe wanted to breathe softly and gently. But his body stopped his breath and at times gave a challenge to his breathing process. And I'm actually describing his experience. I'm not exaggerating. This is the real thing, right? So for the entire few hours that we've been there together, for this specific time, Andre was going through the exact opposite of what he would have desired. Every time he would go into a desire of a thought came, and he would naturally desire to expand it. But here, because of our mindsets, we say, go against that. Use the desire to bring your attention back to the body. He may have wanted to pay greater attention to some sensation of his body, but we say, no, hold on. Let go of that sensation. Open yourself to the new, to the next. What's next? What's next? He may have wanted to hold on to some beautiful sensation during the meditation, beautiful sensation. And we say, hold on, pay attention to the not so obvious. This is too obvious. Acknowledge that, but give equal value. And what Shirley said, in a sense, he humbled himself in all directions. When he was in an uncomfortable sensation, he would have a tendency to fight against that. He didn't. He just observed it and allowed it to naturally change. It's against his desire. Completely. The process, the technique of the meditation that we do, by ultimately allowing, praying, not judging, respecting, humbling, we ultimately go, funny enough, against our own desires. And in the process of the meditation, we gain many moments, many drops. Okay? Those are drops, sorry. Many drops, right? In which each of the drops is the new challenge in the meditation that we presented and the rising above. Another challenge during the meditation. And the rising above it, overcoming the desire for the familiar, for the old. The desire to either for the familiar or separate yourself from the discomfort, from the familiar discomfort. Or the discomfort could be also something new. Something new, unfamiliar, would be felt uncomfortable. There's a resistance, natural resistance for the not familiar. This is why advertising works. Makes it familiar, so you don't resist it. You understand? That's why learning is important. Because then it becomes familiar, so you can use it. It's new, it's hard. It's adjustment for the mind. So suddenly the expansion was reached because of many moments. It's one meditation, okay? One meditation that includes many opportunities of overcoming desire. Ultimately, what we gain from that is the sense and the power of transformation itself. It's not about the ankle or the knee or the breath or the image or the thought. What we gain from that is the power of transformation. The actual power of transformation itself is what we gain from the meditation. If we don't do the meditation itself, we don't get the chance to go against our own desires. In a good way. Using desire. If you didn't have desires, there was no way. If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't have desires. That's why we have our body. It has desires. It has needs. And those desires and needs of our body, we use in the meditative state to gain the power of transformation. That power that now we take into our everyday life. That new gained power. Here's the conclusion. the more meditations we do, the more challenging they are, the more challenging it is to actually do the meditation. The more moments you catch yourself desiring during the meditation, going away with your mind, feeling uncomfortable, trying to hold on to comfort, the more moments like that you get, the more powerful your transformation becomes. The more opportunities you get. You get. You transform. If meditation is easy, and if you stay in the comfortable experience of meditation, you don't challenge yourself, you don't go through the mindsets. This is why the audio that I give you is so powerful, because I recognize the need of constantly rebooting your experience by reminding of different mindsets. Every meditation, different mindsets I remind. Sometimes the same mindsets, I just catch you. Now, the key is that I said the more meditations, as long as the meditation does not replace your life, as long as now it is actually not a replacement for your life, as long as it's not, you actually could be misusing meditation as a desire. You gotta go against that too. So I say 3 times a day now. This way, if you are the type of a person that likes to indulge in something they enjoy, you can't do that. You can't use meditation for that. Or else you're not going to get transformation. You see? Of course, in that meditation, we add the connection with energy, which is part of the audio, which is part of what we do here together. We give birth to new energy together. Of course, there is the inner commands, and we learn how to give them, how to use them properly. And each of them has a purpose. And the whole experience of inner command is really redefining that inner dialogue between thought and action. And we learn how to do that in the process. And of course, the mindsets. The mindsets that constantly, the same mindsets constantly become more clear and more clear and more clear at every different level. So if I ask right now why we meditate, it may be to create an environment in which we could ultimately challenge our desires, and in the process, transform, rise to a higher level of experience of self, higher level of unity. And the sensations of the body are just tools, not outcomes, that we use. And then we take that which we achieved into our everyday, and naturally we find it easier to follow what we understand and know, because we've bridged that gap during the meditative state. It's in a, see how difficult it was to explain. We need the desires for more than just pleasure. We need the desires so we can work with them to rise above. Very similar to our development as a child. We have desires. I would say that, for example, one of the children said that when I grow up, I don't remember how old she was. When I grow up and I have my own money, I'll fill my freezer and my fridge with ice cream, and that's all I'm going to eat. That's a true desire. That's a goal, worthy goal. It's laughable. Parents are forcing you to eat real food. Why? I can't wait to be free. I'm done. I have my own money and I have my own, I fulfill my own desire. Anyways. How are we doing at home? And of course, the power of transformation is magical relatively to where we begin with, because it does not. Very quiet from home. A good sign? Yeah, Catherine said, yeah, we. Questions? Questions at home, please. They don't have to be, intelligent questions, because all questions are necessary. Very simple questions are necessary, not something. Simple questions will lead us to good answers.
So we still measure the desire. But the desire or the intent to grow.
When?
The reason you do it, you still have desire to transformation. That's the reason you do it.
The desire is to use our desires for transformation. In other words, the desire is not to push away desire, not to numb desire, not to forget desire, but as I am, as it is right now, I have a desire, I'm using it in our meditation. Don't confuse meditation and everyday life. In our meditation, the challenges of our meditation is when we go against the desire of the body. I mean, our own desire, and we allow our body to guide. That's the biggest challenge of meditation. To feel really what's going on instead of what you wish you felt. That's a true challenge. Desire is to feel always that state of, that's the desire, the expansion. If we allow that, we don't expand. If we allow the true experience to be there, the true experience, then we can use that experience and reach expansion. The next time when Andrew is going to feel expansion, it will be for a different reason. It will be already a next level of transformation. It will still give him a sense of expansion, but it will be a byproduct, a result of a certain internal overcoming, certain agreement. And the energy helps you reach that. Without the energy, the energy actually is what comes in. The moment you have this opportunity, the energy takes you down. The next one. Yes, sir.
As well, the desire is allowing.
Allowing is an experience. Desire, okay. You desire, during the meditation, you experience. So what's the question?
My desire is to allow. Maybe I'm getting too detailed to people.
No, it's just, you're hypothetical, you're not specific. When you're specific, you realize that there's only one kind of experience. And it's either an experience to escape discomfort or experience to go towards comfort. And to judge it good or bad.
Or just go in it and see whatever, good or bad.
So, challenges to allow the uncomfortable and comfortable to be a challenge. It's against our desire, our true desire. True desire, not, right? True desire is to be comfortable. True desire is to avoid discomfort. True instinct is to judge. Uncomfortable, bad, comfortable, good. That's true. During our meditation, we have to overcome that desire. At a simple level. Okay? To allow unconditional experience. In the process, we gain the power of transformation. Question? At home question, because I have just one more thing to conclude this and we're done for today. Vicky. Good, thank you. All right. Do I answer that question? How do I answer a question? Good, thank you. I want questions, Vicky, thank you. So the ultimate question would be, what if we didn't meditate? Right? What do you think would happen if we didn't use this half an hour and we decided, okay, so let's not have opportunities? What would happen then? My hypothesis only. Right? It's only from my experience. Oh, no, we would just receive those opportunities from life. Instead of having 100 opportunities during the meditation, every meditation, and transform, because of what we chose to go against our desire in the meditative state and transform. If we don't do that, then life will give us opportunities to do that in our everyday life, which will come with whatever it comes. We know that. I don't know. We all know. We've been there. We're there still. It's not that transformation is a necessary experience. It's a force from inside of us. We don't have an answer for it. It will never stop. The need for transformation, the need for inner growth, which is transformation, will never stop. It will push us. We won't understand what it is. What's wrong? I think my life is okay. I let go of the past. You know, I'm okay with what happens. Why am I still uncomfortable? That's the key. You can't solve it. It doesn't have an answer. So we're, you know, I kind of used it recently. Where maybe information and knowledge, right? Information. So can solve, yeah? Stress. Because we find solutions, right? Transformation. Solves anxiety. And it's not because we found solution, but because we've gained a new set of eyes to look at things. We've grown. Where I kind of gave it names, right? Recently, I called this process, first process, I called it thinking outside of the box, right? Round box. In other words, to learn things we did not know we need to know, right? It's thinking outside of the box, learning things we didn't know we need to know. And by learning them, we could recognize how necessary to us. That reduces our stress. It's linear, right? And transformation is thinking what too fast. Thinking outside of the egg, for those who know what I'm talking about, which is ultimately transformation, which is ultimately the state of egg and the state of chicken. All right? This transformation is a miracle. It's not another, bigger, stronger, more knowledgeable feathered egg, right? It's a new experience. So I say that the egg could never desire to be a chicken. The egg could never desire to be a chicken. We, at every state of transformation, we cannot desire the next step if we really want transformative experience. We can't desire it. Actually, we resist it. The egg resists transformation because it doesn't desire, it doesn't know to desire. But it doesn't have a choice. pressure. We want to transform by choice. We're not an egg. We have an ability to recognize ourselves. We have an ability to go and rise above our desires. We have that ability. That's what makes us human, not an egg. Because we have the ability to seek something, right, that is greater than our own desire. It's called faith. Chicken and an egg, they don't have faith. They don't understand that concept. They don't have self-recognition. They can only desire that which makes them comfortable. And they want it now. We have an ability to hold back. Patience. Right? We have an ability to hold back. We have an ability. Only faith gives us patience. Sometimes belief, but then belief can be very disappointing. Faith will never disappoint you. It's different. Faith is based on the unknown. Belief is based on the known. Faith is based on the unknown. Belief is based on the known. So if you only believe, then you can change beliefs. Faith doesn't need to change. Faith is going into the unknown. This is what an egg needs to do. Open itself to something it does not know to desire, be able to transform. But here it has no choice. We want to be at a state of choice. Freedom is choice. And when we talk about feeling free, when we talk about feeling ourselves, when we talk about fulfilling our uniqueness and individuality, when we talk about fulfilling our purpose, we're actually talking about going into the unknown, not going into the known, which is quite opposite from what people think. People think they will know their purpose before they go there. That's the key. I'm not going to expand on that. That's a little bit more than it is for today. But that's it. I will recommend to now do the meditation from last Monday we were here. The opening yourself to that which you don't know to desire with a whole new mindset. Applying everything. Re-listen to what we did here. I'm going to send it to you in audio as well, but the video is going to be available as soon as we're done. Watch this. If you want, you can fast forward into where the explanation started. So to shorten the audio, but ultimately listen to this again. You'll hear things you didn't hear for the first time, and then do the meditation of opening yourself to that which you don't know to desire. I will also send you another meditation that is aligned with those mindsets, and do share with me your experience. When you share with me your experience of meditation, two things happen. First of all, you have to actually experience to share with me. Right? That forces you a little bit to practice. Second of all, when you share with me your experience, you don't have to have questions, just share with me the experience. In that, I will find what to comment on and how to make it better for you. Just share your experience. Share your aha moments if you had. If you didn't have, just share the experience. In the words and how you describe your experience, it will give me an opportunity to guide you into the next meditation and help you redefine, shape your meditation next time a little bit better. Right? You have that opportunity. Always ask. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you at home. Phil is asking a question. Does the frequency of our body resonate at a different level as our energy changes? Yes, of course, but what we call frequency of our body may be misleading a little bit, because we're thinking of horizontal experiences. Our temperature of the body will still remain 36.6, right? Ideal. So frequency of our body is not exactly what it's the quality of connection between all parts of our inner system that will gain strength, and that is ultimately will awaken in us more of our potential. We're not going to grow more arms so we can be more, productive, right? And we're not going to gain more hours in the day, but the quality of our experience will change. And if it comes to energy, then really the bonds of what I call the H's and the O's, right? The love between the H's and the O's will grow. The love between the H's and the O's will grow. We know H2O to be one molecule of water, and we assume that the bond is fixed just because they're together. But their togetherness, I believe, also can be redefined to a higher level of unity. Being together is one, being in unity is another. In unity, there are levels. And as we transform, every bond in our internal system transforms. So ultimately, even the water in our body can express now this new love, and unity is love, and then every internal experience will follow that basic. Right? So on every level. There's only one energy. That energy expresses itself at all levels at the same time. There couldn't be two different frequencies, quote unquote, in your body. There couldn't be two different levels of love inside your body. It's only one. So as we do our meditation, as we reach a higher level of transformation, everything transforms, including our outlook on life, including the words that we say and don't say, including our patience level, including our perspective of our past, including our perspective of our future, including our new desires. Our desires are redefined right now as they are transformed as well. So everything is transforming, and it's because we've given ourselves the opportunity to challenge ourselves hundreds and hundreds of times in a day instead of waiting until life forces us to do so. Choose it, and because we choose it, there's joy attached to the process as opposed to, what could be suffering. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for the question.
Yes.